Justin Baldoni suing the New York Times for an article reporting Blake Lively's claims that he directed a smear campaign against her during the press campaign.
The whole Me Too movement is so by women like Blake Lively. She is not who people think she is. And she wants the rights to It Starts With Us, and that's why she started this whole thing. I can guarantee it.
Blake Lively exposed her co-star Justin Baldoni with some really nasty claims, some accusations of harassment, and some text messages to back up his hate campaign. But now Justin is firing back. He filed a lawsuit against Blake and the media, demanding millions of dollars for her lies and providing his own text messages that doesn't help Blake's case at all. So let's get into it. It might be a new year, but we've got the same old drama. And it's getting official now. We're taking it to the courts because Justin Baldoni is firing back after Blake filed that really nasty lawsuit against him. I mean, come on, Justin, get it together. But now he's not only going to go after Blake, but also the New York Times for reporting on this story and claiming he's this monster in which Blake has declared. So we all know that Blake filed a lawsuit in New York against the actor and his publicity team right before the holidays. She really got him with that one. Like, she didn't do it in November, early December. Let's hit him right before Christmas, something to think about. Justin has filed against the New York Times, which reported Blake Lively's legal complaint. I would go as far as to say, and this is my opinion, I'm not on any side, you guys know this. Now that I've been doing this for a while, I've seen how the media works, and it's really how you suspect. I mean, these celebrities will go out and, fish for this story, go and see who wants to bite, and then the New York Times maybe got a copy of this complaint before it was filed. So right when Blake filed it, the New York Times article came out. Now, I'm not saying this is fact, this is only my opinion, but that's just how it works. I mean, if you do want to create a media storm, you're going to go and do the legal homework before, and then go get your friends, your reporter friends, to go and blast the news when it becomes official. Reynolds, Blake's husband, posted this video right after she filed the lawsuit. Let's go ahead and react to it together.
Hello, everyone. This is a video for Sick Kids Foundation, and as some of you may know, we do a video every year around the Ugly Sweater campaign. It's a lot of fun. This year's a little bit different, though. We're stepping it up. Blake and I, we're donating $500,000. We're donating $500,000.
I'm like, do you not even know before you made this video? It looked like he just learned it for the first time.
In a match campaign.
But good stuff. We love sick kids. We don't love sick kids, but we love supporting sick kids and charities like this. And sick kids need love too, and money. Now, we love charity on this channel. It is so important to give back. And I think especially these celebrities who are rolling in millions and millions of dollars. I mean, why do you even need that much money? So you know what? If you can go and do something good, then great. But people had issues with the timing on this. And honestly, I don't want to go and hammer them on this, because I think that the timing was the holidays. So maybe it all just happened to occur at the same time. This person wrote, he's trying to make it sound much, but in relation to his fortune, it's piss in the sea. What the hell? We are all seeing right through this BS right now. It's giving The Rock and Oprah vibes. Another person writes, saving reputation. Now, Justin claims the New York Times worked against him. Mr. Baldoni claims libel and fraud. He accuses journalists of working with the actress to damage his reputation and not giving his team appropriate time to respond to a bombshell story. Justin alleges that the Times relied on cherry-picked and altered communications stripped of necessary context and deliberately spliced to mislead. Imagine this, you've been in an accident or someone you love has been seriously hurt. Suddenly you're facing a mountain of medical bills, paperwork, and insurance companies that don't want to pay what you deserve. Now, what if I told you there was a simple solution to this nightmare? Getting compensation when you are entitled to can be tricky, with many personal injury firms giving you the runaround, drowning you in paperwork and settling for less than what you deserve. But it doesn't have to be that way. This is where Morgan & Morgan steps in. in. As America's largest injury firm, they've modernized the entire process. With over 1,000 attorneys across all 50 states, they have the resources to take on big insurance companies and give you the money you deserve. And trust me, they don't settle for low-ball offers. Just this year, they secured a $26 million settlement in Philadelphia, 40 times more than the highest insurance offer. And there are plenty more stories like that. You could just fill out a simple form in minutes. No appointments, no complicated paperwork. Everything is done from your phone. Plus, it's totally free unless you win. Morgan & Morgan makes the process easy and stress-free. You can head over to forthepeople.com/Sloan. You can also find that link in the description below to get started. Remember, the process is free unless you win. Thank you, Morgan & Morgan, for sponsoring this video, and enjoy. Now, the New York Times is saying, you know what? No, we just did our due diligence. We read through the lawsuit and we pulled what we thought was important. But if he does file this lawsuit, which he is, and it's a lot of money, they're going to have to do discovery, which means they're going to have to pull the communications from that journalist. And then we'll see if it's true. Did they just do it on their own, or did they work with Blake's team, like what he's saying? Now, we all know that he was recently dropped by his talent agency, WME, which is just a really hard hit for anyone who's in the agency. Now, because he was dropped from the agency and it did occur after the Times article reported on it, he's saying they're to blame, which is where this damages comes in, this $250 million. Like, he would have been making that working with the agency if it wasn't for this lawsuit. And I do think it is interesting how he was dropped so quickly. It all happened pretty much the same day, you know? But Justin is really going back at Blake, saying that she created this false harassment accusation so she could take control of the film, and then set out on a campaign to reshape her public persona with salacious headline-grabbing allegations at Justin's expense. Now, again, I'm not picking any sides. I'm going to wait until we see every piece of evidence and I'll make my decision, but I want to hear, where are you guys leaning right now? Are you feeling like Blake? I mean, I think some of those claims were really disgusting. I mean, effing foul, if I might say myself. So I think that those claims are really nasty. Am I saying that those claims actually happened? I don't know. There's perspectives here. I even heard one tip that like Blake and like Justin had an affair on set, and like there's so many rumors swaying around right now. I can't even make up my mind. So I'm just going through the information with you guys, but I want to hear, are you leaning, you know, left or right, Blake or Justin? Comment below. Justin's lawyer, Brian Friedman, wrote that Blake's cynical abuse of sexual harassment allegations to assert an unilateral control over every aspect of the production was both strategic and manipulative. Ooh. He ends it by writing, "This is nothing but an excuse. Fame is a double-edged sword, but Blake's tactics here are unconscionable."
Justin Baldoni suing the New York Times for an article reporting Blake Lively's claims that he directed a smear campaign against her during the press campaign. Baldoni's lawsuit calling the article rife with inaccuracies, misrepresentations, and omissions, relying on Lively's, quote, self-serving narrative, and showing examples of text messages that the lawsuit says were misleadingly edited by Lively and knowingly published by the Times, such as removing an emoji that would indicate a comment was sarcastic, which the lawsuit calls a calculated distortion.
So Justin's team is claiming the New York Times failed its journalistic integrity to vet Blake's harassment claims, essentially saying you took her word for it, you reported it as truth, and now I look like the bad guy, and he doesn't want to be the bad guy, clearly. Nobody in Hollywood wants to take accountability.
They allege that the Times cherry-picked and decided to take snippets of negative things, negative text messages out of context and put them in their article, which ended up making Baldoni and others look bad.
You guys know I am against censorship, so I'm not like rooting over here for Justin to go and take down the New York Times. While they have made plenty of mistakes before, the media is also reporting on things that were filed in court. There is an understanding that like Blake is not going to commit perjury here. So, you know, there's a fine line here. I don't ever want to go for the free press because I think we need to always protect that. I mean, that's what we stand for here on this channel. You're not going to censor me unless it's the special words on YouTube that you cannot say. Blake's attorneys told CNN that nothing in this lawsuit changes anything. They're actually excited to take this to court, saying, "We look forward to addressing each and every one of their allegations in court." Wow. Now, a big part of this lawsuit is the team that worked with Justin to take down Blake. Let me reintroduce you guys to Melissa Nathan and Jennifer Abel. They both are publicists who worked for this movie. Essentially, these two had text messages talking about bad stories about Blake, It seems like, did they plant them? I don't know. Were they just talking about them? These publicists argued that the stories were just happening naturally and they were just watching it play out and they were chatting about it. But I do believe Melissa at one point talked about having a connection to someone at the Daily Mail, which is suspicious. I mean, publicists are going to work that way. They're going to have these connections and tell these stories. The question is, was it to like intentionally take her down? Is it all false news? I mean, there are also moments of Blake's career that resurfaced during that time that weren't even relevant to the movie or Justin, you know? It's just confusing, especially when you guys see the details of how this movie worked out, because it was so complicated handling these two on set. They had to go and really outline every single aspect of every move they planned to make because they were so on different pages. Justin claims he was following the tone set by Blake Lively. Justin countered two of Blake's accusations by claiming that he was merely following his co-star's lead. He allegedly referred to women on set, including Blake, as sexy. When Blake expressed her discomfort, he deflected, undermining her concerns. But Justin alleges he's only using the same terminology that Blake used herself. He also provided a text message from Blake saying her character attire needs to be much sexier. Quote, Blake set the tone, a tone that Justin Baldoni, respectfully heeded during the creative process. Blake also accused Justin of sharing intimate details of his intimate life in asking about hers. Justin countered by saying that she was the one who first brought up the topic and he was merely following suit. Weird. Like, does that mean he's saying that Blake brought up her intimate life with Ryan Reynolds? Ooh. Getting hot in here. Justin also says that Blake invited him into her trailer when she was breastfeeding. He wasn't just walking in trying to look at her boobie feed her baby. Blake has accused him of repeatedly walking in on her while she was breastfeeding, but Justin says that he has text messages from Blake which she appears to invite him into her trailer, saying, quote, I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out our lines. He says, copy, eating with crew, and we'll head that way. So, I mean, it sounds like she's allowing him to. I don't think breastfeeding is weird. It's literally part of life. Like, let's grow up, people. But I can understand why she feels uncomfortable with this guy's just coming in there and like staring at it. But if this is a real text message, that doesn't look good.
I am accepting apologies for everyone who came after me about questioning Blake Lively's honesty. The whole Me Too movement is so by women like Blake Lively. He came with receipts, and I will give kudos to anyone who does that because she invited him into the dressing room. She asked for sexier clothes on set. She is not who people think she is. And she wants the rights to It Starts With Us. And that's why she started this whole thing. I can guarantee it.
Now that TikToker has a strong opinion. You know, we love opinionated people out here on this channel. I want people to say it with their chest. But, you know, at the same time, this is a very sensitive topic and it's just a he said versus she said. I mean, I really think that when it comes down to it, those text messages that Blake had in that lawsuit against Justin, they didn't look good. But if he can come up with his own text messages that make it seem like Blake is being dishonest about her feelings, I mean, if he could prove, like, you know, she made a lot of allegations. If he could prove a handful of them were wrong, I mean, this really doesn't look good for her either. It's really, and not good for the talent agency that fired him, but I don't know. It's a sticky situation.
First, we get this text message exchange where it appears that Blake Lively and her baby are sick. But Justin and Blake have to run through their lines. Blake states, I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out our lines. Where Justin responds, copy, eating with the crew and we'll head that way. And Blake responds, take your time. Second, we get this text message exchange where Blake Lively states, we'll show you both ways, but Beanie's much sexier. It's the look. Feels TV without it.
Now, Blake is obviously a beautiful woman, but at some points she claims in her suit that, like, Justin Baldoni fat shamed her. Which, it's like 2025 people. Well, I guess it was 2023 at that time. But still, people weren't fat shaming then. Justin claims that Ryan Reynolds got involved and allegedly berated him for fat shaming her. Supposedly, Justin inquired about Blake Lively's weight prior to filming a scene because he was supposed to pick her up. His lawsuit says it was a reasonable request because he didn't want to get injured picking her up, which also, I don't know, I think that's still a little bit weak. I mean, do a couple curls. I mean, really. Justin said after that incident, Ryan Reynolds subjected him to an inappropriate and humiliating berating at his in Blake's New York City apartment. The actor wondered whether the outburst was intentional, as other celebrity friends were coming in and out of their penthouse at the time. Now, there were also claims by Blake that she was shown inappropriate videos by Justin Baldoni. Blake also stated in an HR complaint that Justin showed her adult content videos featuring his wife. Justin claims that that is false, and the video in question was his wife giving birth, and that he showed Blake in the context of discussion about a birthing scene in the movie. Quote, to distort this event into sexual misconduct is outrageous and emblematic of the lengths to which Blake and her collaborators are willing to go to defame Justin. These lawyers are not holding back. Justin claims that Blake felt good about the film's sex scenes. It looks like Blake is accusing Justin of adding way too much nudity and unwanted kissing to the movie. But it looks like he was under the impression that it was fine. She wrote in a text message to Justin, writing, I feel good. I can meet her when we start. Thank you, though. I don't know. I guess it's about the intimacy coordinator. I guess she said she feels good about it. So that's what he's saying. He did not have any understanding that she was super uncomfortable with these scenes.
Screenshot right here where Justin states, just hired intimacy coordinator, who I love. We'll set you up to meet / FaceTime with her next week for intro. And Blake responds, I feel good. I can meet her when we start. Thank you, though. Justin then sends this screenshot to a female producer and says, just FYI, just wanted to tell you about this. Seems like she doesn't want to meet the intimacy coordinator until we start, which may mess up the workflow, but I can still meet with her, of course. The female producer then responds, that is fine if she doesn't want to meet with her now. You'll just have to walk her through what you and the intimacy coordinator are thinking.
Now, in addition to the incidents that Justin disputes, he took issue with how Blake presented her complaints to HR. She made HR aware of 30 issues she had with production, frequently using the phrase no more when requesting they not continue. They repeated use of the phrase no more before each demand falsely suggests that these alleged incidents had previously taken place and needed to cease, the suit says. This implication is not only misleading, but entirely untrue. So Justin is disputing everything, and he's coming with some receipts. I mean, he's like, hey, you got text messages of my publicist. I've got even more messages. And actually, in these messages, you can see how Justin doesn't want to be pushing out some of this media going out about Blake. It's just organically happening. It's not even Melissa or Jennifer's doing.
Next, we get these texts between Justin Baldoni and Melissa Nathan, which is a link to a TikTok that's a TikTok creator claims she received sketchy DMs instructing her how to discuss the Blake Lively-Justin Baldoni drama PR. Justin states, this is not us, correct? Assuming the guy we brought in would never do this. Melissa responds, none of us would ever do this. Melissa then sends this Daily Mail article and states, this just ran. Obviously, none of us knew about this either, but once media goes in, they go in. We get these text messages between Jen Abel and Justin Baldoni, where Justin says, attempting to rewrite history, and like, I'm not the one who developed this and spent 5 years trying to make it. And like, there's an issue with me. It's just mean and hurtful, and she knows exactly what she's doing. Just find ways to keep me busy when she gets everyone together. Obviously, if the whole cast is making content together, that's her trying to clue people on there being an issue. Everything she does is calculated, yet also manic.
Looking at some of these messages, it seems like Justin was almost fearful of Blake. So it really comes down to the judge to decide which team's going to win. Is Justin Baldoni this creepy monster who harassed Blake, or is Blake maybe inflating some of her stories?
Meanwhile, Blake Lively filing her lawsuit against Baldoni and his production company, as well as the PR team they hired in a New York federal court. The suit, echoing claims laid out in Lively's earlier bombshell complaint, alleges Baldoni and the film's lead producer engaged in sexually inappropriate behavior on set.
Now, her lawsuit isn't just against Justin Baldoni, it's also against a bunch of entities. The PR team, production teams, she's really going against everyone, which means there's going to be a lot of different parties in this courtroom. It also looks like she's seeking damages. I don't know exactly how much money she wants, but she wants it because of severe emotional distress, pain, humiliation, embarrassment, belittlement, frustration, and mental anguish. So she must not be doing well right now. So now it's really up to the courtroom, but I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. I think that, the text messages that Justin came forward with, I mean, shout out to these TikTokers for breaking it down because, damn, not a good look. But at the same time, I don't want to just dismiss Blake Lively's experience. We really have to go and see what the judge said, what the lawyers say in the courtroom, especially if they put Justin on the stand, put Blake on the stand. I mean, shoot, will this be televised? It's going to be quite a year. But Happy New Year to you guys, and I'll see you in a new video soon. Bye, guys.